everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we continue where we left off in the episode 3, if I'm not mistaken, and continue with advanced settings, location, navigation and stream filters, and live updates. But before we proceed, there is a little nag message over here saying to update the Gecko theme to the latest version. But I just updated this website and there are no updates available. If I go here in the dashboard updates, everything on my site is up to date, but still saying to update the PeepSo plugins and Gecko theme version to match. And if you remember in the first episode, we actually created a child theme for the Gecko, and that theme is currently active on our website. So we updated the parent theme, but the Gecko child theme still using the old version number. And to fix this message, you simply have to go to Theme File Editor, select the style sheet or style CSS if it's not already selected, and then change this version number to exactly match this version number over here. Paste it, update the file, and now the nag is gone. So let's continue with our video and PeepSo configuration. All right, so Advanced tab, and the first options that we are going to discuss are SEO and Open Graph. Open Graph is the API that Facebook and some other third-party websites use to display the cards that you share when you share some link to the Facebook or third-party websites. And I strongly suggest you to go to Google and look for Facebook debugger. And the first link that opens, open that link and Facebook sharing debugger will show up. Now, because I'm hosting this website on my local host, I cannot exactly show you how this works here, but I'm gonna try to explain it by scraping or debugging the PeepSo.com. I'm gonna enter the PeepSo.com link and click on debug. Now, in link preview, you will immediately see how this preview will look when you share the PeepSo.com on the Facebook. All right, and you can see that OG title, OG image, and Open Graph description are these, and you can set them all here. You see you have an option for Open Graph title, Open Graph description, and Open Graph image. And if you set all of those settings over here, once you share the link on the Facebook, it will look like this. All right. Now let's move to Advanced SEO. By default, PeepSo adds question mark to the links. So let's check this by visiting the community and opening the profile. You can see that there is a question mark in the link. Likewise, let's open the groups and open any group, for example this one. There is still a question mark here. And if you want to remove this question mark, you will do that in the Advanced SEO options. So let's enable it. Save the settings. Now I must close this pages because these links will not exist anymore, and do it all over again. Go to my profile. You see there is no question mark in the groups. No question mark, and that's basically what this option does. However, if you go to a single activity stream post, the question mark will still be there and it's required. It cannot be removed in this case. So this is what Enable SEO Friendly Links does. It's in the beta stage, and if you care to read the description, you'll see that it can easily conflict with other SEO plugins. So use this option carefully, or if you're not using third-party SEO plugins, then I will definitely suggest you to enable it. But if you use the third-party SEO plugins, it can cause some issues, so use it carefully, right? And PeepSo can reset WP query is the background. I cannot show this on the front end because there is nothing to see. This is the background operation that works in the background, trying to optimize the SEO. And once again, this option can also interfere with third-party SEO plugins, so use it carefully. Now, this option for reactions is still in beta phase, and instead of having a bunch of reactions where you can, heart it, like it, smile on the post or stuff like that, you can actually create your reactions to be upvote or downvote, similar to Stack Overflow or Reddit and sites like that. So if you enable this option and save the settings, you also have to go to Manage and then Reactions, and there will be a new option for the emotion. And let's say like, for example, is going to be upvote, and heart is going to be neutral, and haha reaction is going to be downvote. You will also have to disable all of the other because there is no point in them anymore. Okay, let me just quickly disable all of them. Now, when I go to visit my community, I will only have 3 reactions to upvote, neutral, and downvote. And it will calculate how many upvotes, downvotes, or neutral reactions you have. All right, let's get back to configuration, advanced, and this is what this new option for reaction emotions does. Let's move on to the sharing section, and enable repost simply means that the option to repost something will be available in our community. So let's refresh this page, and you cannot repost your own stuff, okay? There is no option to repost the post that you posted. So you have to find some posts from the other members. Let's say this one. And there will be an option here in those 3 little dot settings to repost it. And I can repost whatever Noah said here, and it will be reposted with a quote. All right, so this is the repost option, and profiles and activity social sharing should be self-explanatory. When enabled, user or profiles are shareable to social networks, and activity social sharing is shareable to social network. But this particular feature will only work for public posts, and you will not be able to share posts that are not that are not public, because it makes no sense for sharing the posts with a bigger privacy. And here you can choose what are the enabled social networks. So let's say you only want to allow Facebook and Twitter and Reddit. So you will disable all of these options, disable them, save the settings. Now refresh the page, and when you press share, only these 3 social networks will be available. All right. GDPR compliance is enabled by default and made your site automatically compliant with GDPR. And compatibility for WordPress and Divi Builder is provided with these 2 options. So if you have some issues with Jetpack or WordPress.com and Divi Builder, you may enable these options and attempt to fix the issues specific to these products. Now, before we dive into the danger territory for file system override and PeepSo uninstall, let's scroll all the way back to the top and let's see what's on the other side of the settings. Enable usage tracking is the anonymous usage tracking of your website. So we at PeepSo, when you enable this option, you allow us completely anonymous usage tracking, and what is being tracked you can find in this link, and it will show you everything that is tracked, and the data we collect is used only to improve PeepSo in the future. It is totally up to you to enable or disable this option. If you don't trust us for whatever reason, you can disable it, and the option is not going to track anything from your website. Performance option allows you to block the users and enable load more option for the activity stream. So let me show you how that load more exactly works, because blocking the user should be self-explanatory. But if I enable load more, and let's say always, and I'm gonna repeat the load more button after 2 items, so I can say it more often. Now, when my activity stream loads two items, there will be a load more option over here saying, hey, you can load more, right? And I can disable this, and now PeepSo will try to load my activity stream automatically as I scroll, which is the default setting. So let's refresh this page. It will try to load some activity streams to fill up the page, but when you go to the bottom, it will automatically try to add more, unless it has nothing to load anymore, right? So you can prevent this automatic load by enabling the load more option and say load it up, show it after 10 activity stream items. Save the settings, refresh the page, and now your PeepSo community will always load 10 activity streams, then wait for user input, load another 10, and so on. You can enable this option for mobile only, desktop only, disable it, or always enable for mobile and desktop. Scroll a little bit down until we find the cron jobs option, and you can enable these settings when you decide to use external cron jobs. And if you wonder how all of that is set up, we have the entire feature highlight regarding cron jobs, where I teach you how to set up the external cron jobs. So if you decide to use the external cron jobs, which are much better in my humble opinion, you can enable them here. I cannot now show exactly how this works, because once again, this is the localhost website. But if you're interested to see how to set up and how everything works, you can see the PeepSo feature highlights cron jobs video. Cache busting is another beta option which will enable or try to bust all the cache that is causing issues. And this feature is, while clearly marked as beta, is using a PHP to detect the last file modification time, and it will not always work with all of the cache. So it's literally impossible to make all kind of different third-party plugins work with all kind of different caching systems, because there are so many of them and they are so different. But we are trying here to bust all the cache based on the latest modification time in PHP. And if it works for you, fine. If it doesn't, just disable this option and try to find a better solution. For storage, you can decide here on the outer size if you want to save on the storage, or you want to improve the quality of the avatars. You can choose the avatar size, avatar quality, cover width, and cover quality over here in this option. And naturally, the bigger values they are, the more storage space will be required. In the security section, you can enable external link warning page. And let's enable this so I can show you how it works. Save the settings. Go to navigation and stream filters just to check if there is an external link warning page. Here it is. You are about to be redirected. So how this works is when you go to the community, and let's add the link to Google.com, post it. Yeah, let's post it. And when I click on that link, now it says the link you just clicked redirects to Google.com. Do you want to continue? And this is the redirection page that you can set up in the pages. So pages, all pages, look for external. All right, you can edit. And this is the warning that you get here. Do you want to continue? No, yes. And naturally, you can completely edit this page, hide the page title. Let's say I don't want to show the sidebars, so hide them both. And let's update this page, refresh it. And now you can, you can design your entire danger page saying that this page is redirect away from your website. Do you want to continue? All right, that's the option for the redirection. Go back to the advanced configuration. You can enable all of this for the social sharing links, and you can exclude the domains that you don't want this link, this page to show. So if I exclude the Google.com, let's exclude it and say https google.com. So now this is excluded domain. Save the settings, reload this page so new settings are applied, and when I press it, I will automatically go to Google because this particular link is on the excluded list. So you can exclude some domains if you want. Maintenance and debugging section is something that we use while we support your website. And this is strongly recommended to be disabled when your WordPress website is working normally. There is no need for these options to be enabled. But if you have problems and you know how to read your logs and you know how to use the developer tools, you can enable these two options and it will help you to easier debug your website. If not, just keep them disabled and contact our support so we can do it for you. Now, file system override is the option to change the uploads directory. And right now you can see that my uploads directory is in C partition, in Lardon folder, in www, PeepSo 5, WP content, PeepSo subfolder. I can change this to whatever I want, and the new upload folder will be in use, effectively removing all of the images and uploads that are already existing. I mean, it will not remove them physically. It will just change the uploads directory. It will try to find them in the new folder, but they won't be there, right? And this setting is only useful when you move your website from one server to another and the upload directory changes. You can change it over here, and it's usually displayed in the bold in the description over here. What are you supposed to use, right? So if you don't know what to enter, simply enter whatever is written over here and it will most likely work. You don't have to do this on the websites that you just installed and using on the single host. Like I said, this option is very useful when you move from one host to another and for whatever reason your images are not showing, then you need to enter whatever is written over here, enter in the uploads directory. And finally, PeepSo uninstall. You can change the behavior during the uninstallation process of the PeepSo. So if you decide to uninstall PeepSo for whatever reason, you can delete post and comments data, or you can delete all data and settings. So by default, when you uninstall PeepSo, the settings will be preserved if you decide to come back to PeepSo later on. But if you're completely decided that you don't want to preserve any data, you can flip these two options, and now your entire PeepSo data will be demolished when you uninstall PeepSo. All right, that's all for the Advanced tab. So let's move to the location. In the location tab, you will think that there are two simple options, like enabling the locations and entering the Google Maps API, but Google decided to make your life miserable with this. And for whatever reason, they are forcing you to leave your payment details, your left and right arm, and sign the pact with the devil or whatnot in order to use the API keys. So we don't have the time to set up everything in this episode, but I'm working on the feature highlights for the location settings, and when that video is ready, it will be updated to the feature highlights playlist. So if you're looking at this video in the future, it may already be available. So go check out the feature highlights playlist, and the location video will probably be there, right? So let's move to navigation and stream filters. We already touched upon this page in this video, and for the most part, it is used for linking your pages with the PeepSo features. So external link warning, you saw how we created the external link warning for the external links in PeepSo Stream. And the members page is a members page, notifications, and so on, right? So you can choose your pages over here, and at any given time you can create a new page with let's say PeepSo members shortcode and choose the new page instead of this one. Okay, but here in the stream filters, we can choose what is going to be the default stream filter, and whether or not compact stream filters will show on mobile or desktop always or none. And this is covered in our What's New in PeepSo 5 playlist. So I will link those videos in the description below so you can go and check them out, right? So you can choose the default stream filter as well. So all of these settings are kind of self-explanatory. So let's try to change the PeepSo members, and I'm going to go to the pages, all pages, find the members to make sure that I'm using the real shortcode. Yes, PeepSo members. Let's copy this shortcode, create a completely new page, and say new members. I'm going to add shortcode here and publish this page. Okay. Now let's go back to the PeepSo configuration, navigation and stream filters. And now PeepSo automatically found that there are two pages with the same shortcode for members. And it's asking you what page do you want to use. You can use both, you can use any of them, but you cannot use both, right? So this will be our new members page. And if we go to the members, this is our new members page. If you remember in the previous episode, we configured the members page to not show anything unless we start to search. So let's search for them. And that is our new members page, right? So basically you can create all of your custom pages if you're not happy with the default ones that are already pre-installed with PeepSo. I'm not sure why will you do that, but there is an option, right? And finally, login redirect and logout redirect. You can choose the page that you want to be redirected when you log in and when you log out. However, this login and logout redirect will only work with PeepSo login and PeepSo logout. So widgets, landing pages, stuff like that. If you use third-party plugins for login, this will not work, right? It only works within PeepSo environment. Live updates is allowing you to time your AJAX calls and change how often they are triggered. So in order to demonstrate this, let me show you the developer console on the website. Let's actually refresh this website, and enable the developer console, go to network, and wait for page to load completely. And you will see that once the page is loaded, it's not actually quiet. Look at this area over here. You see how additional calls have been added. Specifically, this notifications Ajax get latest count. This is simply checking if there is some new notification for your account to display it here. And if there's not, then nothing will happen. But if there is, after this notification Ajax get latest count is triggered, it will be displayed here. Here it goes again, right? So it's working in the background, although this page is not moving, is static. There is no input on your side, and you can change how often this will happen. So let's change it to very, very crazy settings. So every second is going to check for it, and if there is an idle, it will wait for 30 seconds to check it. We don't want that. We want to wait for 10 seconds. And multiplier, we are going to increase it very much. Now refresh this page. Go back to the network. Wait for the page to load completely. Something is still loading. Okay, what are you loading over there? You see how faster everything happens. I can't even scroll fast enough to catch them all because I changed all of these settings to be much faster, right? Let's try the multiplier for 1.5. Refresh it, and now I can't even scroll how fast is trying to fetch all the data. You see, it's the page is loaded. The page is absolutely loaded, right? But the stuff here is happening so fast in the background. It's trying to see the activity, mentions, notifications, new messages, stuff like that. And if you choose these settings, make sure you better have the beast of the computer to actually support all of that, because that calls in the background, because it's gonna overload your server. I can choose this type of settings for demonstration purposes and show you everything in the background, right? All the calls in the background. But if you're gonna enable to check for every second on your own website, you better believe it is going to put the stress on your computer, on your hosting. That's why it is always recommended to choose the default settings over here, and based on them, adjust your configuration to better suit your hosting environment. And with that, we now have covered all of the options that comes in PeepSo Foundation plugin. In the next episode, we're gonna divert our attention to the paid add-ons, specifically audio and video, photos, groups, and chat, because configuring all other plugins will take a lot of time, so we will focus our attention to only those that are most used. Once again, audio and video, photos, groups, and chat. Right? Maybe if we have time, we will discuss the friends and user limits, but the attention will be on the most used ones. And for the user limits, groups, friends, I believe, email digest as well, we already have a feature highlights episode. So go and check the feature highlights video. It's already there. It's already available, explaining you how to exactly set up the groups, user limits, and so on. All right. That is all I have prepared for you. If you liked this video, subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and smash that bell notification icon to be notified whenever a new video comes out. All the links to the third-party sites and the feature highlights video I mentioned in this tutorial will be available under the like button in the description below. Until the next video, I wish you all the best with your websites. Bye!